Hi, crafty friend. It's Justine Dvorak from Stationery by Justine, where when I craft, my world stands still. Today, we're having technical difficulties. At least I am having technical difficulties. So, good news is the camera's on and working. I was supposed to be over on the Pajama Crafter Stamps YouTube channel, and YouTube had different plans for me here today. So, I am now over here on my channel. So, hopefully, somebody comes. It looks like there's one other person here with me, so great. Oh, hello. You can say hi or your name, or if you hear me, that would be fabulous. Oh, good. It looks like a lot of people are coming. Hi, Sharon, Judy, RLP, Teresa, Judy. Okay, perfect. It looks like we're good. All right. Well, Funfold was the name of the game today, and I was very inspired by this card, actually. I was just sent this card from Jan. She is part of the Craft Roulette Fun community, and I got this card in the mail as like a little happy hello, and I thought I can try to make something similar, but with my own kind of spin on it. I'm not going to make the exact same layout, but it will have this Z fold with this pop-up. I'm going to do 2 pop-ups though, because I'm feeling extra. But I'm really thinking this card is adorable. So thank you, Jan, for sending this to me. She sent it to my P.O. box, which is always a happy surprise when I get mail that way. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. Here's my other one. Sorry, I'm a little bit perturbed at YouTube, so I'm going to try to put on my happy face and make it work because I wish that would have worked out, but the show must go on. So I have some fun things that I'm using here today. I'm going to mainly focus on this Yankee Doodle Day stamp set, which always makes my heart happy looking at it. It's just so cheerful. So this is the main stamp set that I'm going to use. And then I'm pulling in some paper that is also from Pajama Crafter Stamps. Because everything was switched last minute, I don't have perfect links right now, but when the live is over, I can grab complete direct links for you if you want to shop anything. But for now, I just have a simple Pajama Crafter Stamps link for you in the description. So I'm first going to get my card base ready. I think that is kind of the most intimidating about Funfolds is just getting everything ready. It looks really simple. Basically, you make a card base and then you flip this one side over. But what's going to make it extra fun are these little pop-up elements that we're going to put in here. So this is kind of my standard, but we're going to toss this off to the side. I'll use it on another project. And we're going to start with a fresh sheet of paper and we're going to dive right in and make this Funfold happen. Can let me know where you're watching from in the comments and or how your day is going. Just questions, whatever you want to talk about in the chat, you can go ahead and do that. It's always more fun when people are chatting along, so it's not just me talking in my house by myself. All right, I'm going to add these fun papers later, but let's get the card base set. Hi, Pam. Hi, Annie. Ooh, sunny New Hampshire. That sounds lovely. Okay, I'm going to grab my trimmer because it has a cutting blade and a scoring blade. And this is some strong, thick cardstock. And I'm going to cut this at 5.5 inches because this will be an A2 size card, even though it's a Funfold. So I have then cut that in half. Save this for later because I'm going to need that for some of my fold outs. Then I'm going to score this card in half. So it will be a true A2 size. So that is at 4 1/4 because the width of this right now is 8.5. So 8 divided by 2 is 4 and 1/2 divided by 2 is 1/4. So it is scored at 4 1/4 by 5.5. Then I'm going to flip my project over, and this is going to be the front. And I'm going to make another score line, at 2¼ inches. So I'm going to kind of use my trimmer here to somewhat eyeball, but that is half of 4 is 2 and half of a 4th is 1/8. So it will be at 2 1/8. They said there would be no math. There's always math. So that is making a different direction for the fold. So we have that all set. I'm going to get that scoring board out in just a little bit too for making my pop-ups. But for now, this is what we're doing. I'm going to fold it in half and score it. Hi, Diane. Hot in here. Well, hot in Virginia. Okay, and then I'm going to flip this over. It's actually pretty cloudy today. There's some wildfires going on in Canada, so Minnesota's been kind of hazy, and we have cottonwood trees here that are blooming, so with the cottonwood floating around and the haze, it's looking a little strange outside. But, you know, no complaining. We're alive and happy and good. All right, so here's my standard Z fold, right? Now I want to make these 2 little pop-up areas because I have these little, I have a plan. There's a plan. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take this paper and I'm going to cut it at 5 inches. Like this. And then I'm going to cut it at 1 inch. So my pop-up will be 5 inches by 1 inch. Little strip. And I'm going to need 2 of those. 5 by 1. Hi, Jana. Alrighty. Then I'm going to score 5, or actually 4 score lines, each at 1 inch. So it will give me a little bit of bend and fold to my pop-up thingies. I don't know what's the right term. Why is that not working? Is it dislodged? Sure is. There we go. So that's at 1 inch. And then we're going to move it over and score at another inch. Move it over. I'm just going to line it up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as we go, because that is going by 1 inch. Going over one more. Ta-da! So there's 5 sections, 4 score lines. It's going to make a box. Ta-da! So we'll do that again. Scoring at 1 inch. Scoring at 2 inches. Scoring at 3 inches. 4 inches. And that gives us our pop-up. Oh, thanks, Jana. Jana says, don't forget to like the video, y'all. So sweet. Okay, here's my second little pop-up. And I'm actually going to glue these now because no time is better than the present. And then they can sit. Oh man, look at that crazy glue blob. I don't mind having those if it means my nozzle doesn't clog, which I appreciate. Okay, and there's my little box. And we'll glue another. Hi, Michelle. Good to see you. Michelle is here from Pajama Crafter Stamps. She actually is the artist who made the stamp set. How cool is that? So shout out to Michelle. See, it's official. Michelle. I love this stamp set. Okay, so I have my 2 little pop-ups. Hooray. And I have my card base set. That's basically the hardest part. So smooth sailing from here on out. Okay. Now I pulled from my stash a circle die set. Where is it? I thought I just had it out. I was preparing for this video this morning. Well, maybe I don't have it around. But it's this die set from Spellbinders from over 2 years ago, so it's actually discontinued. But I really like it. It has these fluted edge circle pieces. I don't know where it is. I don't think they even sell it anymore, so such is life, you know? All right. So that is basically all my little pieces here. I'm going to have this Let Freedom Ring be in the front. Then I'm going to have the little bald eagle and then the Katy Perry lyric, Baby You're a Firework, because that's adorable. So these are going to be my 2 pop-up thingies, and this is going to be my main squeeze. So I'm going to heat emboss a few things here. So let's put my paper down before I heat emboss. This is kind of all over the place for this video because it's a fun fold and it's kind of like a choose your own adventure situation. Okay, let's see. I need to make my blue paper this size. What is this? Oh, and of course my ruler is missing in action. Love that for me. Okay, it is, oh, hello, it was 2 1/8. We already talked about that. So I just have to cut it that size. 2 1/8 by 5 1/2, because that's the length of my card base. And by the way, the paper I'm using is also from Pajama Crafter Stamps. Oh my goodness, Michelle says, that is crazy. She says, I love this font. And then Michelle says, this is my handwriting. Wow. I'm thoroughly impressed. Thoroughly impressed, my friend. Okay, so I'm going to heat emboss this and this. We're going to make stars on the blue. Won't that be cute? I think so. Alrighty. So I'll get my stamp blocks ready. Freddie, we're going to color that little eagle in a bit. Hopefully we won't be too long here on the live tonight, but I wanted to follow through here. I said I would go on their channel and then stupid YouTube was being annoying. So the card had to get made. We'll just put it that way. It needed to get made. All right. We have our Versamark, which is a sticky clear ink. And we're going to get Michelle's handwriting, Let Freedom Ring, ready to go on my circle. How's everybody's day going? Earlier today, I was packaging up and getting, oh, I should probably use anti-static powder before we get crazy. I always remember at the last second. But I was getting ready a whole bunch of cards to package for my 2 hair salons that I sell my cards in, and a coffee. One of them's kind of like a coffee shop hair salon duo. And I need to get Father's Day cards ready. So that was my to-do this morning. And I also need to get more graduation cards because they've been selling like hotcakes, which is lovely. Okay, I'm going to clean off my stamp because otherwise just things last longer if you take care of them, you know? I do sell my cards, yes, but they're very cheap. We'll put it that way. My point is I don't want to, when I sell my cards, I'm not doing it to make tons of money, but if I didn't sell some of them, I would be living in a card warehouse with the amount that I do make on a monthly basis. I have a pretty large family, but there's just no way, even if I sent everybody I know a birthday card, I mean, I would be spending an arm and a leg at the post office at that point. So I'm going to go ahead and just stamp out a whole bunch of fireworks. You probably can't see the clear ink, but I promise you it's there. And I can see the glare of the clear ink with my ridiculously bright lights that I have here in my studio. Yeah. RLPITTRID. Can you let me know what your name is so I can say what you said? But that person says you can never make the money back on handmade paper products. It's more just for fun. And you are so right. So right. Honestly, I just hope that someone can buy the card and it's affordable, and then they can share happy joy wishes to somebody that they love. And that's enough for me. That's way better than my house turning into a card warehouse. All right, I've got my little stars going now. Leanne, perfect. Leanne, you are correct, Leanne. All right, now that I have those stamped out, we will grab my heat embossing tools. Now, I really like using white embossing powder, especially for using them on colored cardstock. I think it looks so sharp. So that is the vision here. Slightly panicked because that was a lot of white powder on my project. A little tap dance. Pam says, I have hundreds of cards. I can't sell them or get them out fast enough. You know, I've been there as well, and it does take forever and a day to package them up. Sometimes I will just donate them or bring them to a family event and just say, like, you know, take whatever you want or what you'll use. And that works out well. So that's an option as well. Or you can donate them to like a children's hospital if you have that by you, or there's lots of things like cards for seniors. I know that's a thing. I've donated to, I think scrapbook.com has a whole card. I don't know what to call it, but they give out free cards to people who need them. So that's a thing as well. Clearly, I'm not as informed as I probably should be, but I have sent out big boxes of cards to, I think it was Handmade Cards for Kindness or something like that. All right, I am going to mute my microphone when I heat emboss because things get pretty loud with it. So don't worry, I'll be right back. One other thing that crossed my mind is I have also donated my cards for a silent auction. We do a silent auction at our school. So I've done like a box of 100 cards where it's just, 5 birthday cards, 5 thank you cards, 5 sympathy cards, and just a variety pack basically. And that does sell well. That looks so cute, doesn't it? I love it. Even though my heat embossing wasn't 100% perfect, it's okay. We're all good. Okay, I'm going to stamp out these now since I might as well, right? My little eagle, I'm going to stamp with Copic Friendly ink. So I'm going to use my black Memento ink. So we'll get that good and ready. It's so fun to see you guys chatting in the chat. Okay, and then I'm just going to position him as best as I can in the middle, but we are not making a perfect handmade card here. Ta-da! That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out, for being real. As usual. Always keeping it real here. And then the Baby You're a Firework, which I love that. All right. Yeah, I do sell them at a craft fair once a year as well. This one is Faded Jeans. Ooh, I was going to use my Misty for this because I have a feeling this is not going to stamp beautifully the first time because I'm using a Distress ink. I don't know. It just doesn't always stamp perfectly the first time. And since I can't find my circle die, I'm not gonna mess this up. Hopefully not. Anyway, we'll see. Michelle says, Faded Jeans is my fave. Let's see if I need to re-ink it. I hope not because I don't have the re-inker. I do know that some of my blues are getting pretty dry. So let's all hold our breath and hope for the best here. One thing that I did at my craft fair that I usually participate in the fall is last year I did 20 cards for $20, which seems shocking. And you're probably going, whoa, there's no way that I would ever sell a card for $1 each. But like I said before, if I didn't, I would end up with a house full of cards. And I did make a little bit of money on that. So I rather have a few bucks in my pocket than have a warehouse full of cards at my house. So just saying. Okay, I'm going to stamp this 3 times. I know I had some people going, are you kidding me? I make cards and there's no way I would ever sell them for $1 each. I hear you, but it's what I did. Oh, that looks really cute. Oh, yes. Okay. Things are looking good. We're pulling it together. As Tim Gunn would say from Project Runway, we're making it work, people. Take that, YouTube. Okay, so that's set. Now let's color our little bald eagle. Bald hair. I'd really like to learn about bald hair. Okay, so I have a few colors here, and I think I do need to pull in a cool gray because our lovely owner, Joy, when she's coloring, I've been watching her lives, and she told us that even if a section is white, like the head of the bald eagle, there's still shadows. So I'm going to grab a little bit of gray for that. And I probably should have pulled up a bald eagle picture, but I feel like I have a pretty good idea of what they look like. Yellowish feet, yellowish beak. And then let's do C2 for just a little shadow and shade by the bottom of the hat. And then I'll go in with C0 just to kind of blend it up a little bit. Ooh, he's looking cute. He's looking official. Adorable. If you're into more patriotic stamps as well, maybe you are from the US, Pajama Crafter Stamps is veteran owned, so they're a great company to support. And they have a lot of patriotic items on their store. So I would recommend grabbing something from them if you are looking for something that is patriotic. And this marker, I took off both lids. And as you can see, I have this big band of yellow tape around it because this marker is, this one's naughty. And it burps all the time because it just dumps out ink. So any marker that happens to do that in my craft room gets tagged as a naughty one. And then I know to take off both caps, and it helps with the ink coming out. So just a little bit of info on there. So I figured I would just grab a couple colors here. Bald eagles, I know, technically have brownish, blackish body feathers when they are mature. And I don't really have like that perfect color for a bald eagle. So I'm going to try to make one with blending it. Fun fact about bald eagles is they are not technically bald until they are like 2.5, 3 years old. And they are pretty brown when they are juveniles. Yeah, we see a lot of bald eagles. Anytime I go to my parents' house, there's always multiple eagles flying around. And they love living on the lake, just like my mom and dad do, because that's where all the fish are. All right. Yeah. So Pan says, who's the veteran, Joy or someone else? And then Judy says that Joy's husband is a vet. Yes. So Sean is the vet. Okay. We're going to make red and white stripes. I'm going to go every other. Cute. And then a little bit. Of course, that's the one I dropped, the one I need. A little bit of red. I'm no Copic expert, but I'm not going to get any better if I don't practice. So why not practice with a cute set? All right. Persian blue. This might be a little bit dark. Try another one. Cobalt blue. Sure. Oh, yeah. You know, who would love this card is my grandma. She was born so close to the 4th of July, and she always loved having lots of red, white, and blue things all over. So she would definitely smile at this card if she was here still. All right, I'm going to glue this panel on. Yeah, we're going to glue that on next. I don't really think there is a perfect way to put this on, but there we go. Yeah, the characters are super cute. I'm going to put the stamp set on the screen here, and I would love for you to write in the chat which one is your favorite. I will put something behind it so it's not so glare happy. Which one's your favorite? Get a good look. I have a tie between the hedgehog and the bald eagle. Those two are my favorite. But this little raccoon sitting on the log is pretty darn cute. Hope that was a long enough look for you. I'll leave it here. I know there's crazy glares happening. My lights are super bright. And yes, I was in the middle of gluing, and that's practically dry. So we're going to try that again. This is what happens. I'm kind of an impulsive crafter, and I think I might have a little bit of attention issues. So things like this will happen. But you usually don't see it because usually my videos are edited. But I see all those things when I'm editing. All right, so we got that on. Looking good. Lovely. That is just so fun. I love playing with things like that. Okay, and then we'll get this little circle onto the big white circle. Looks like the fox is one of the favorites. Sharon says fox. Judy says fox. Michelle says a tie is the raccoon and the hedgehog. Yeah, fair enough. The tuba bear is adorable as well. I really like the tuba bear. So cute. Okay, we're going to put that on after. Let's just assemble these all. Does anyone have this song stuck in your head now? From Katy Perry. My husband and I have an inside joke with that song. There's a version of that song on YouTube that is Baby, You're a Plastic Bag. If you want to giggle, just look it up, and has a picture of Katy Perry's head superimposed onto a plastic bag. It's just so silly. I don't know. I don't know. It's just one of those things that it's an inside joke. What can I say? All right, I'm going to put glue on 2 sides like so. And let's just eyeball it for maybe right about here. We're not measuring anything. And I will close it up like a book. Ta-da. And we'll do the same on the other one. Glue on 2 sides. And I'm going to put this one closer to the bottom. Right about here. And hold. This is so strange because it's summer vacation now for me. I'm a teacher, if you didn't know. And just being able to be home and just going live randomly is just like, feels like I'm playing hooky from work. I'm just going to say it. That's what it feels like. Having too much fun playing. Ooh, hey, I was going to put pattern paper behind here. So we're just going to lift those up and pretend like I didn't glue that down. And we're going to sneak some patterned paper under there because it's just so cool. I can't just forget that. All right, so we're going to cut that down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So it'll be filling up the whole back page. There we go. Well, Pam says the deer is cute too with the bandana. You are so right. I like all of them. I really have on my fun list that I want to do is make a slimline card with all of them. How cute would that be? But using all of them would be so fun on a scrapbook page. If you are doing like a 12 by 12 scrapbook, I think this set would be so, so cool. And you know, when you are buying from Pajama Crafter Stamps, you're supporting a small business, Pajama Crafter Stamps, and also supporting Michelle as an artist. So all around a win. All right, we're going to glue this back again. Good thing is I was kind of lightly handed with my glue, so I could pull it off. And then we're going to put something heavy on top of this, like my Sidekick. That'll do it. I think my Sidekick is the cutting tool that I'm going to bring to Paperganza. I'm going back and forth about my die cutting machines for that event. It's more of an event than a crop, but I think I need a die cutting machine for my workstation. when I'm making cards there. I know that Gina K is donating some die cutting machines that like everybody in the room can use for Paperganza, but I mean, there's going to be like almost 200 people there. And if I want to die cut something, I don't want to have to wait for my turn. So I think I'm going to bring my own mini die cutting machine. I just don't know if I should bring my Sidekick or my Scout. I don't know. I think they're both good for different reasons, but okay. Yes, everything is going to work out here. So I did die cut, or just lightly cut, not even die cut, these little support arms. And I figured I would do this just so my circles had more support than just the circle. So I'm going to chop off a little bit here, and then I'll tell you the measurements of them if that is something you care about. Ooh, it's just under 1 inch, maybe about 1/8 of an inch shy of an inch, 1/8 of an inch by 2 inches long. And then I'm going to glue that support here and here. I'm very generous with my glue. And then we're going to put this here. People are talking about die cutting machines in the comments. Recently, I did get the Anna Griffin Empress, and I feel like I am so spoiled using that thing. Oh my goodness. It die cuts, and it almost presses the die into the paper. And I think it is a really good die cutting machine. I'm just saying. Ridiculously expensive, but I think it's worth it. Okay, and then we're going to put this little guy down here. Oh, how fun is this? I do also have the Platinum 8.5 inch, which is what I call the Big Daddy. It's a big die cutting machine. Okay, I'm going to put glue on about half of this circle because it's going to go on that blue flap. I had someone message me like, why are all the patriotic cards? Well, because I am proud to be an American and I really love our country, and I love the fact that I can freely make cards in my own house and say what I want on my YouTube channel. So that's that. How cute is that? Oh my goodness. Now, I have had the thought about, like, what about writing? What about writing a message? Okay. Well, if you're cool, like the card that I got here from Jan, she put a little die cut piece on the back of her card so it didn't interrupt her design here. And then this one I made was some Altenew stuff, and I just put a little strip here so the message is hidden when the card is closed. So there's that. But what do you think about this cutie? I think this is really fun. And it didn't take very long to make. It looks like we've only gone for about 40 minutes. I did have things pre-die cut, but we did do the whole fun fold here together. So there's that. Look how cute that is, though. I love it. And this pattern paper is perfect because it's like stars and stripes. By the way, Pajama Crafters Stamps, their paper, you can toner foil with this, and you can also glimmer hot foil because it is super shiny. Glimmer hot foiling does really well with their paper. And if you are curious for a black paper that glimmers beautifully, you've got to try the coal color paper from Pajama Crafters Stamps as well. and it is so good. So now that this video is almost to an end, once I pop off of here on YouTube, I will go ahead and link the stamp set and the paper down below. Should I add embellishments? I'm looking at this going, does it need embellishments? What do you think? Does it need embellishments? I think I have some like America themed embellishments in my stash. And you know, I always keep bling real close. What do you think? Do I need embellishments on this card? Sharon says yes in the fireworks. Ooh, like little ones. Okay, well, I do have these from Buttons Galore and More. They're called fireworks, which is quite appropriate. Maybe I could use some of these stars. Maybe I'll put one of the stars over the star and ring. And then I will grab some pretty gems, I think, for my fireworks. We're going for it. This is right over the white star, so it's just adding, if anything, dimension. Oh yeah, cute. Okay, these gems in here are looking a little chunky for my fireworks. Unless I did those. No, they're kind of green. They're supposed to be red, but they look kind of green. All right, we're gonna pivot. Cue Ross. Pivot. Always have that in my head. Okay, these are also from Pajama Crafter Stamps, so lovely. If you have zero clue what I'm talking about when I say Pajama Crafter Stamps, they are a small business card company, paper crafting company, and they are so good to shop from. So if you need things like refilling your Barely Art glue, fun embellishments, maybe you're not a stamper, but you're a card maker and you're all about die cutting or something, you can get other things by shopping small on a small business like that. And I think that is just fabulous. Anytime you shop small on something that you could just buy on Amazon, why not buy it on a small business website instead? You might need to wait a couple extra days, but if we don't start supporting these small businesses more, they're not going to be around. That's just the way it is. All right, these are adorable. They're called Girl's Best Friend. They look like diamonds, which reminds me of the song, which I will not sing. We're going to say it's because of copyright reasons, but we all know why. Okay. I think that is just, that's great as it is. Should I add a little, I'm going to add one more gem. I can't help it. We're going to put a little dot over this, the period and firework. And when it dries clear, the blue ink will come through and it will just be like a sparkly blue dot. That'll be so cute. Yes. Okay. We'll just put these back. I'm pretty sure this little tray is also from Pajama Crafter Stamps. I've been pulling it out recently and using it. So yes, shout out to Pajama Crafter Stamps for this fabulous set and for Michelle for being the artist creating this awesome set. And I'm just loving this. How fun is this Fun Fold? Fun Fold Tuesday. Joy usually does lives on Tuesdays and Fridays on the Pajama Crafter Stamps YouTube channel. So I was supposed to be filling in for her over there. So if you like this time slot of Tuesday evenings, go ahead and subscribe over to the Pajama Crafter Stamps YouTube channel. When this is all over, I will link that down below. And then you can either check out her lives or watch the replay. But I hope you had fun here today. And I think we're going to sign off. Oh, yeah, Michelle says cupcake glue holder. Oh, Natasha, Natasha says, just joined listening on my way to work. Oh, well, be careful. Glad you can join us. We are going to finish up here pretty soon, but you can go ahead and scroll the little circle over and you can start at the beginning if you are here for more. All right, we are going to sign off here tonight or this evening. It's bright and sunny outside. I love that. I'm going to go ahead and get some links in the description for you if you're looking for it. And happy shopping if you go ahead and shop over there. And we'll see you next time. Bye, crafty friend.